Yes, guys, what's going on? Welcome to Full Time Devils. I am Adam McCullough. We are live, and we are live with the news that David De Gea has finally, I feel like The Rock when I say that, finally signed his new contract at Manchester United. The Spanish shot stopper has signed terms on a 4-year deal with an option for an extra year. United love doing that, don't they? 4 years with an option for an extra year. 4 years, 5 years with an option. I don't know why we don't just sign them on 5-year deals, but nevertheless, it has been signed. We've heard rumours for weeks and weeks and weeks and months. We've heard it for a long time. I remember being out in Singapore and bumping into De Gea in a lift, and there were rumours circulating then that he had signed a new deal. And when we asked him, "Have you signed the thing?" he said, "Nothing." He didn't even smile. Nothing. He just gave a stone cold look when asked about his contract. He has been keeping a poker face. So has his agent, but the deal has been signed, and if he stays to the end of his contract, he would have spent as much time at Manchester United, 14 years, which is as much time as Edwin van der Sar and Peter Schmeichel combined. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible. I remember him arriving at Old Trafford as a skinny little shot stopper from Spain. He was very, very young. He looked fantastic, saving goals. But in terms of his presence and getting in the air and, you know, the aerial ability and the aerial threat that he was facing in the Premier League, he wasn't comfortable with it. Fergie said give him time though. He was being swapped around that time. Who was he being swapped with? Anders Lindegaard was coming in and being swapped around. But David De Gea was the man that Fergie looked at being United's future #1. And he hasn't looked back because he's gone on to be fantastic for us. Now, I know in the last 12 months, 18 months, he's had dips in form. But generally speaking, he's been the best goalkeeper in the world when he's been at United. Since Fergie left the club, he's been the most consistent player. He's probably been our only world-class player in that time consistently as well. And to hear he signed the deal, I'm absolutely delighted with that. I'm delighted with De Gea finally signing his contract. It's something I've wanted to hear for a long time. And you're never quite sure, because if you got to January, we were hearing rumours of Juventus, and we know how Juventus love a free signing. We're seeing loads of Manchester United's players shipped off to Italy. And, you know, I was worried. Will they bring him in to replace Chesney? Because they got Chesney and Buffon. Juventus could do with getting another goalkeeper in. So I was worried about that one. Obviously, Real Madrid, a lot of talk about that. If the fax machine doesn't happen, then he's probably a Real Madrid player now. But that did happen. We kept him at the club by hook or by crook at that point. And he's never thrown his toys out of the pram. It's never affected him. Now, some will say that his performances recently have been affected by his contract negotiations. But that's difficult to say, because you know what? It is quite hard to keep the levels so high as he did. And now that we've actually got a half-decent defence in front of him, I'm hoping that the next few years of his career will be a little bit easier in between the sticks, but also we'll see him return to form now. Now he has settled his future. We're going to go to some quotes from the man himself and from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer shortly, but I want to get some of your thoughts on this. Gareth says about fricky time. Not fricking time, fricky time. I like that one. I am delighted too, says Roman. I'm so happy. Oscar says that's magnificent news. Love it. Now give him the captain's armband already. He has been kind of swapping it around between him, Ashley Young and Paul Pogba over the last couple of seasons. With this deal done, it should quiet his mind and allow him to focus on the game. That he's a player. If something hectic is going on, it affects him, says AMLG. So great, says George William. We're far from fixed as a team, but this is a massive step forward to getting United back fighting for major trophies. Big positive news, and it should be celebrated, says Tom Harrison. Stuart says about time, and that's generally the feeling. It is about damn time that he signed the deal. Dave stays, says Osama. Good news, says Tarikul. Have a day off, mate, says Mark. I'm not having a day off. No days off ever. Hashtag. Best transfer news, says Taron. Captain David, says Amir. He will end up as our best goalkeeper ever, says Richard. Now that obviously is a topic for discussion. You look at David De Gea, Edwin van der Sar, Peter Schmeichel. I think because I was a kid, I look at Peter Schmeichel and I hold him up there. But I've got to say Van der Sar was incredible for us as well. Some of the records that he broke. Obviously, he had a defence in front of him that had Gary Neville or Wes Brown or Hargreaves or Raphael at right back centre halves usually Ferdinand and Vidic, and then at left back Patrice Evra. So he had a pretty good defence in front of him. David De Gea's defences have been pretty poor, chopped and changed, never had a reliable defence in front of him in the last 6 years, and he was still one of the best, if not the best, goalkeeper in the world. So, you know, it's hard to argue against David De Gea. It's hard to argue against any of them. I'm just delighted they've all been Manchester United goalkeepers. I remember there was that time just after, you know, Schmeichel left. He left, and then we had Tim Howard, Fabian Barthez, Mark Bosnich, all these different goalkeepers coming in. I remember when we needed to bring Andy Gorham in on an emergency loan, but David De Gea came along eventually, and after Van der Sar, obviously, I'm not forgetting that, but after Van der Sar, that was seamless. We didn't have to chop and change goalkeepers like we did with Schmeichel. And I know we had a World Cup winner after Schmeichel and all that, but David De Gea has been an absolute... We haven't had to think about that goalkeeping position. And imagine if he left. Imagine if he left. We would have had to think, yo, who do we get in? I love Romero. I think he's a great backup option. Wouldn't want to see him as our number one. I love Joel Pereira. I think he's a great talent. Wouldn't want to see him as our number one yet. Dean Henderson, another fantastic talent in goal. Wouldn't want to see him as our number one yet either. So keeping David De Gea was bloody vital, and I am absolutely delighted. Jason says getting this sorted before January is key. Now we can focus on getting proper signings in. There's been rumours linking us with James Maddison today as well from the Times and a few other places. Do you think he can win the Premier League again during this contract, says Squawker in the comments. And that is an interesting question. He's got what, 4 or 5 years to win the league. You know, it's a... I'd like to say yes, but I'm not sure. But things can change very quickly in football. In 2 years, we could be the best team in the league again. Things can change very quickly, but there doesn't seem to be a structure in place at the moment at United that kind of will be able to make you say, yes, I can guarantee we're going to have Premier League success. So I don't think so. I can guarantee it, but I'd like to hope so. If Manchester United don't win the league for 12, 13 years, that something's gone wrong badly somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Maddison and Sancho next, says Tio. Love him to bits, says Sharouk. Murtaza says, love to see Maddison in a United shirt. I'd love to see Maddison as well in a Manchester United shirt. Probably going to have to wait till next summer for that one before we start discussing that. But yes, I would love to see Maddison in a Manchester United shirt. No doubt about that one. Guys, keep your comments coming in on this afternoon as we hear the news that David De Gea has signed the deal. Yes, he has signed the thing, and he is now a Manchester United player for the next 4 years with the option to extend for another year. Now, we're going to read some quotes from David De Gea, who joined United in 2011. So if this deal brings him to 2024, he would have been here for 13 years, sorry, not 14 years. During his time with the club, he's won the Premier League, the FA Cup, the League Cup, the Europa League and the Community Shield. The only trophy he hasn't won is the Champions League. Fingers crossed he'll win that. And David De Gea has said, it has been a privilege to spend 8 years at this great club, and the opportunity to continue my career at Manchester United is a genuine honour. Since I arrived here, I could never have imagined I would have played over 350 games for this club. Now my future is fixed. All I want is to help this team achieve what I believe we can and win trophies again together. As one of the senior players in the squad, I want to support and lead in any way that I can to assist the younger players so they know what it means to play here. I still feel that I have so much more to achieve at the club, and I truly believe that Manchester United can build on the club's traditions of success and reward our fans for their support. I bloody hope so, mate. I'm committed to continuing to repay the fans for all the care that they have shown me during the good times and the bad. Ollie said, I'm delighted that David has committed his long-term future to the club. David has proven himself to be the best in the world and a vital part of our plans as we look to have Manchester United back where it belongs. David is a fantastic person whose outstanding quality provides the perfect base to our defence. Over his time here, David has really understood the values of playing for United and now represents everything you want in a goalkeeper. As a player who's hugely determined and hungry to achieve more, we all look forward to working together to meet those ambitions over the coming years. That is what the keeper and the boss has had to say, as David De Gea has signed a new deal up until at least 2023, which will bring him in line to get a testimonial. I was looking for the word then. Most clean sheets by Manchester United goalkeepers. I want to see this because I want to see where he is. Now, remember I did a video for Full Time Devils on this before. Now, let us look. MUFCinfo.com have all the info. Fantastic website. And there it is. He is 5th in the list at the moment. 130 clean sheets in 367 appearances. He's got a better ratio of clean sheets to games than Alex Stepney. Van der Sar's and Schmeichel's is better than his, but they obviously played behind better defences for a longer period of time. Gary Bailey's also in there as well. He's got a better clean sheets ratio to games, having got 161 clean sheets in 375 games. Gary Bailey, in 9 years he did that. Schmeichel spent 8 years at the club, 398 appearances, 180. So David De Gea is already played 100 more games than Van der Sar played for United. Van der Sar spent 6 years at the club. Gary Bailey is 8 games behind Gary Bailey, who's in 3rd. Alex Stepney's got 539 appearances. You'd like to think he'd do that, but fingers crossed for no serious injuries. And Peter Schmeichel made 398 appearances. So you'd like to think David De Gea will eclipse his appearance record. But clean sheets wise, he is 50 clean sheets from being having the most clean sheets in Manchester United's history. Incredible. Incredible. It's interesting to see Fabian Barthez is 11th in that list, but you know, is down there with like John Mew, Harry Gregg, Roy Carroll, 14th, Robert Beale, Jim Leighton, Tim Howard, 17th. So we had a lot of keepers that played for a long time. Alfred Stewart played in between the sticks for 12 whole years. Now you'd expect David De Gea will beat that, but who knows at this moment in time. So those are some clean sheet stats for you in Manchester United's history, which I just scooped up of MUFCinfo.com. Remember, this is Full Time Devils. We are live, and David De Gea has signed a new contract with Manchester United. Kept a clean sheet this weekend. It was an important clean sheet as well, as we got 3 points. Neil says, excellent news, a massive boost for the whole squad. He's loving it. Peter Jackson says, that's fantastic news. Do we bring anyone in January, says AMLG? I'm not too sure. De Gea will smash that clean sheet record, says Alien. 10-0 now, maybe with Maguire and Wan-Bissaka in front of him a little bit more regularly. Hopefully Lindelof can make something happen there. Maybe Twanzebe coming through in the future. Maybe with a bit more of a better defence, we'll expect him to keep a few more clean sheets. I'd expect him to get at least 20 more this season. Is that asking for too much? Then he'd be 30 off the record. But I think he should be. Need Pogba sorted, says Jay Desai. And yeah, De Gea signing a new deal not only points to, obviously, we've got this fantastic goalkeeper for a longer period of time, but also maybe, you know, he's seen something and thought, yes, I may have the option of signing for Juve or PSG or whatever, but United are trying to build something and return somewhere, and I want to be one of the players to help them do that. Matt kind of suggested the same things. Now, these are easy comments to make. We know that, and we hopefully see that action on the pitch. We hopefully see that action in the transfer market. We hopefully see that action in developing youth as well in the next 12 to 18 months, so that we get a team that is ready to win the league, because that's where we need to get to. It's not going to happen in the next 8 months. It's not going to happen overnight, and that's why we've got to expect inconsistencies. But De Gea signing a new deal, hopefully Pogba will then say, because I still think Pogba's going to leave next summer, but if we can get him to sign a new deal and he stays for a few more years, I'll be delighted with that. And maybe De Gea signing a new deal makes him think, yo, maybe I want to stay here. You see him having dinner with the likes of Patrice Evra, who's been hanging around the club more as he does his coaching badges. Darren Fletcher, Quinton Fortune, and who else was it? Anderson. He's chilling with them. And you just think, like, let's hope that's, you know, he wants to become a leading figure at United with De Gea, with Pogba, to help bring United back that league trophy. Because if they help us do that, they'll be fucking legends. If they help us win that first league trophy after, what, 7, 8 years, whatever it's going to be. That'd be amazing. But, you know, I think Pogba's going to leave. I don't blame him either. You know, you can't hold it against someone that is going to reach the peak years of his career, and he's got to look and say, are Ed Woodward, Ed Woodward and the Glazers doing enough to get United back there? Probably not. We're hoping for a masterstroke from management and coaches and players, rather than from the board and the direction they're sending us in. D-Miz says, I believe in Ollie. A few years from now will be dangerous. Alerts is getting very good news, says Luke. We need Dean Henderson as backup for him. It's better suited for Dean Henderson to get minutes in the Premier League at the moment, I believe. We've got over 600 people watching. Thank you for tuning in to Full Time Devils. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing, commenting and sharing as well on Full Time Devils. Get your likes, comments in. We got an action-packed week coming up this week. We got Gaz with This Week at Manchester United coming on today. That should be up. We've also got this week, we're doing the preview for the game against Astana tomorrow. I'm doing another chat with Laurie Whitwell from The Athletic on Wednesday. Then Thursday, it's obviously match day, so we'll have loads of content, Fancam's match day vlog, etc. from that game. Friday, we'll have more stuff up for you as well as we look ahead to the West Ham game on Sunday, where we'll also have Fancams from. So plenty of stuff coming up for you this week on Full Time Devils, the best Man United fan channel in the world. So make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing and subscribing. Henderson will be second option, says Andrea. Recap please, says Axel. Well, the recap basically is that David De Gea has signed a new deal for 4 years with the option for an extra year, which could keep him at the club until 2024. He arrived in 2011, which would mean that he'd kept 13 years at the club in between the sticks. He'd get a testimonial as well. That's more time than Schmeichel and Van der Sar if he sees out his contract at the club at 28 years old at the moment as well. So you'd like to think, when you look at Van der Sar and how long he kept in the game and goalkeepers, and you know, you'd like to think he's got 3-4 years in him at the top game, 5 years, maybe even more at the top level. He's an athletic goalkeeper. Goalkeepers are playing for longer in their careers now. So fingers crossed we'll see him sign another deal after this one. And another deal. Can he spend 20 years at United? How long would he have to spend at United to be 20 years? 2031. So he's 28 now. 2031 is in 12 years. He'd have to stay there till 40. Van der Sar. Stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened. If De Gea's watching this, I'm not sure he is, but he might be. Probably be thinking, fuck's sake, Adam, I've just signed a deal, just relax, yeah? When the next deal goes to them 32, 33, calm down. David De Gea should be our captain, period, says I am Steve. Steez, rather. Yeah. David De Gea has signed the ting, guys. He has signed the deal to keep him at Manchester United for at least 13 years of his career. Will he have been the best Manchester United goalkeeper ever? Will he win the Premier League again? Will he add the Champions League to that list of medals that I read out earlier? That's the only one missing from his trophy haul at United is the Champions League. He's won the Premier League, he's won the FA Cup, he's won the League Cup, he's won the Charity Shield, he's won the Europa League, but he hasn't won the Champions League. Will he win another Premier League and the Champions League again at United? Well, he's got 4, 5 more years at the very least to do that, and I've been signed that new deal. And I, for one, am delighted by the news that David De Gea is staying. Despite his current form, I still believe he's one of the best goalkeepers in the world, and I still believe he will reclaim that as the number one in the world as well. So guys, thank you for tuning into Full Time Devils. Make sure you're keeping it locked. Make sure you're getting your comments in as well, because remember, this is your channel. And of course, if you want more from Full Time Devils, then check out FTD Premium. The link's in the description below. You get a couple more videos every week for it. But if not, and you don't want to do that, you still get all the good stuff here. Live streams like this, match previews, match reaction, watch alongs, fan cams, all that good stuff coming your way. And another Talking United with The Athletic this week, which I'm looking forward to. If you've got any questions for myself and Laurie, get them in the comments below as well. But for now, I've been Adam McCullough, and I'm out of here.